Can you love your family and still keep distance? That is such a painful question because for many people, distance feels like betrayal, especially if you come from a faith background. You may wonder, if I loved them more, would I stay? Am I being cold? Would Jesus keep distance? Am I giving up too soon? Can love and boundaries actually coexist? And maybe the hardest question of all, if I really loved them, wouldn't I just tolerate more? So, welcome to Cleave Answers, where we give clear, faith grounded answers to the hardest questions about family, boundaries, estrangement, reconciliation, and of course, healing. And today we're talking about this question: can you love your family and still keep distance? And the first thing that I want to say is this: love and access are not the same thing. And I think many people were never taught that because in unhealthy family systems, love often gets confused with proximity, with compliance, availability, unlimited emotional access, tolerance, keeping the peace, never disappointing anyone, never changing the relationship. But healthy love is much deeper than access. And sometimes love actually requires wisdom, because keeping distance does not automatically mean that you hate someone. Sometimes it means the relationship has become harmful. Sometimes it means trust has been damaged. Sometimes it means repeated conversations have gone nowhere. Sometimes it means boundaries were ignored. Sometimes it means the relationship is affecting your marriage, your children, your peace, or your emotional health. And creating space is not always rejection. Sometimes it is stewardship. I want to say this next thing very carefully. Distance is painful. Nobody dreams of needing distance from family, especially from parents or siblings, adult children. People do not arrive to this place casually. Most people considering distance have already tried conversations, forgiveness, explaining, grace, patience, prayer, and of course, second chances, and often many more chances than they should have had to give, which is why this question hurts so deeply, because many people still love their family. They just no longer feel safe in the relationship. And those are not the same thing. Second, Jesus teaches us that love and wisdom belong together. This is super important because some people assume that Christ-like love means unlimited tolerance, unlimited access, unlimited exposure to harmful behavior. But Jesus himself, he had boundaries. There were crowds that he withdrew from, religious leaders that he confronted, people he did not entrust himself to. In the book of John, it says, Jesus did not entrust himself unto them because he knew all men. Think about that for a minute. Christ loved perfectly, but perfect love did not eliminate discernment, and perfect love did not eliminate wisdom. Sometimes the most loving thing that you can do is stop participating in unhealthy patterns, not out of revenge, not out of bitterness, but out of honesty. And third, distance is not always permanent. I think that this one is really important. Sometimes people hear the word distance and immediately they assume that this is forever. But sometimes distance is temporary. Sometimes it creates clarity. Sometimes it reveals whether repair is possible. Sometimes it gives everyone space to just simply calm down. And sometimes it protects a marriage or children during a very difficult season. And sometimes it does become long-term because the harmful pattern never changes. But distance does not always mean hopelessness. Sometimes it is what makes healing possible. Now, I want to be really careful here. Keeping distance should never be impulsive. This should not be about punishment or proving a point or control or revenge. But if repeated proximity consistently produces fear, manipulation, chaos, shame, pressure, emotional instability, damage to your marriage, or harm to your children, then distance may not be cruelty, it may actually be wisdom. And I think someone watching this really needs to hear this. You can love someone and still recognize that the relationship is unhealthy. You can pray for someone and still need boundaries. You can forgive someone and still need space. You can honor someone and still stop participating in harmful dynamics. Because love without wisdom becomes enabling. And peacekeeping is not the same thing as peacemaking. So, back to the question, can you love your family and still keep distance? The answer, of course, is yes. Sometimes distance is not the opposite of love. Sometimes distance is what love looks like when honesty finally enters the room. Because healthy relationships can survive truth. Healthy relationships can survive boundaries. And healthy people eventually care about the pain underneath the boundary. If this gave you clarity, I invite you to subscribe to our channel for more Cleave Answers, where we talk about faith, family boundaries, estrangement, reconciliation, and of course, healing. And if you are walking through this right now, my wife Ashley and I recently wrote the book Leave Then Cleave to help people of faith protect their marriage, their peace, and their families without losing their faith. You can grab a free chapter through the link below. And in the next Cleave Answers video, we'll answer another question we hear all the time. What if my family uses scripture against me? Because for a lot of people, that one, it cuts really deep. We'll see you then.